Hey everyone, welcome back to part 9 of the October series where I am going through different people's what's up questions. And I did decide I am going to take some people from YouTube, especially people who comment a lot and give us that support. So if you comment a lot, just read in one of my videos, I'd like for you to cover these 5 or 6 points, just bullet it. And if I have time, I'll throw it in here as well. But I have to give priority first to the what's up groups because obviously they come in for the service. Phil at OCDrecovery.com. These are all, a lot of them, people will take a picture of what they write and then I have to send me the picture of themselves. But before I go any further on this, if you have not watched the video on our channel, the one of my thumbnail like this, talking about why so many people misinterpret OCD and anxiety recovery, please watch that video. It is an extremely important video for hope, an extremely important video to break down the pillars and the fundamentals of OCD recovery and all the myths surrounding it. Okay, so topics for Nick. Sitting with uncertainty. So the most important part about uncertainty, whether it's OCD recovery or life, is realizing there is no such thing really as the correct decision for the most part, right? We can go back and forth on that and have a philosophical debate and discussion on that because it depends on the person's views on life, their cultural background, are they religious or not, whether their family values, etc. But when it comes to uncertainty for me, I decided in my life, and what I see with OCD and anxiety sufferers, we play the ping pong, right? Ding, ding, ding. We can't make a decision and stick with it. So I decided I wanted to learn to stick with decisions. So that meant that I would make a decision and feel all the discomfort that comes with uncertainty. That's increased emotions going up and everything and realizing I might be incorrect. I thought Erica was home. I might be incorrect about a decision and then continue going forward with that. That is very difficult for a lot of people to do, humans alike, OCD suffering or not, because we believe we have control. But that's actually not true. So take someone who takes a job. They have no OCD at all. Okay, no emotional disturbance. I know for a fact this is a job for me. No, you don't. You have no idea if that's real. You cannot scientifically prove that by any means. Okay, so that's important, number one. There's a level of uncertainty that person took without even knowing it. Now, fortunately for them, it's fortunately and unfortunately. Fortunately for them, they don't have to think about it at this level for the most part. Unfortunately for them, most people stay quite superficial because this is why it's not good to blame other people for not thinking deep. Because usually people who are thoughtful, deep, philosophical thinkers with unconditional acceptance have usually gone through really tough times in their life to force them to change. So that's where I get a lot of my uncertainty from, is sticking with decisions and realizing there's no such thing as the right decision. And I just make that and feel that I could be wrong, all the emotions, all the urges, as I continue on with that decision I made, especially when it came to a lot of my stuff with my body dysmorphia. Dealing with my feelings of being overwhelmed. So this is overwhelming sensations and uncertainty play right back. When people are very uncertain, they tend to feel overwhelmed. Uncertainty doesn't typically, no one really says, I'm feeling very hopeless and depressed. I'm feeling uncertain. It's usually, I don't know if I'm making the right decision. That can happen. It's just not the common way it presents in the human experience. It's more, I have all these things going on in my life. I don't know what I want to do. I feel overwhelmed. So overwhelming, this is why I made so much progress. Now I, fortunately, so lucky that I had sensory motor. I'm very grateful for my sensory motor. Not without any principles. If there was no principles to recover, I would have hated my fucking life. But the principles I learned from it, my main belief was, if I experience XYZ in plug, this is my worst case scenario, any sort of discomfort, for the rest of my life, it's not as terrible as I thought. It might disrupt me. It might make things less enjoyable, even much less enjoyable. But the world doesn't owe me anything and the world's not fair. It took me a long time to believe that, a lot of behavioral changes to match up with that and uncertainty, as you asked. But when I got really good at feeling there's almost like a little sense of overwhelming to the majority of my day anyway. I mean, all the stuff I do with OCD recovery, I mean, most people would not, people say they want to coach with OCD, they don't want to coach. Trust me, it's not easy. And imagine dealing with yourself, 50 of you a week, all the WhatsApp messages, everything, when you're in a crisis. I was hard to deal with. I yelled at Rob, hung up, cursed at him, told him to fuck off, went hardcore Jersey on him. And that's just one person, 50, 60 one-to-ones a week, plus all the other stuff you had to do. So YouTube comments, people not liking, so I got better at building that overwhelming frustration. And I think it was Dalio. Dalio wasn't the only person, Ray Dalio, who said it. I've heard many people say it in Habit books, Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg, Atomic Habits, which I'm reading again. But people that talk about strictly the behavioral side of it with some belief work as well, but usually lacking severely in belief, unconditional acceptance, but still a great book like Atomic Habits, is that it never really gets easier per se. You just get better at getting it done because of the practice and the habit. So like right now it's 12:43. It's in the afternoon. It's a little bit later. I've already had, 5 1-to-1s, 6 1-to-1s, went to the gym this morning, had to do a bunch of stuff, got in late last night. So things I usually do Thursday night, I had to do this morning. So I felt a little bit more rushed. I have another 1-to-1 here in 17 minutes. So there's a little bit sense of like overwhelming that's there. I don't particularly like the sensation of like pure relaxation. I can stand that sensation, but I don't like it. That's why my wife's running joke is Nick's least favorite activity is sitting on the couch and doing nothing. I can do that. I compromise with Erica, but I like having like a stoked small fire underneath me that can kind of get me moving in the right direction. Just a personal way I like to live my life. I don't think it's for everyone. Again, I've been like this my whole life primarily, so etc. But that's how I dealt with the overwhelming sensations. I said, it's going to be there regardless. I might as well work on the behavioral activities whilst it's there. And then hopefully in the long run, even if the overwhelming sensations are still there, which I'm a human, I get a little bit better at getting the job done. Question number 3 is OCD while maintaining a job. No easy answer for this. It's very difficult. I built a business. I took a lot of shortcuts in the beginning of my business. I did a lot of things I didn't need to do. Took shortcuts on patient notes and, I did stuff. I sped a lot around because I'm a mobile provider in that sense. And I just took the shortcut in a lot of things. This is what humans do, right? We're frustrated. We have things going on. Children, dogs getting sick. Daisy got cancer, 3 months ago? Then we had to pay fucking $2,500 for surgery to get it removed. Had to come out of our personal savings. And then we had a bunch of other expenses. So we couldn't. It's just like life in general, plus work, plus this. Number 1 was realizing unconditional life acceptance, that life isn't fair. Number 2, it's not binary, but we're going to use binary options. You live an average life. You get by. Maybe you get a little bit more than by or a little bit under in certain ways, and you have a little bit more free time. Or maybe you don't because you live in an area that's really expensive. I don't like putting it this black and white. I'm just using this for an example. It's not this simplistic. Or you can put a lot more effort into your job and you could try really hard whilst realizing that that's going to come with a lot of sacrifice. I use that funny example from Wiki in Transformer 1, Shia LaBeouf's grandfather. When he screamed, he goes, "No sacrifice, no victory." I don't need those things, but if I want to give myself a better opportunity to reach my goals in business and hiking and my relationship, there will be sacrifices that are needed. Sacrifices and responsibility are 2 of the most important words in the human dictionary. And I was terrible with personal responsibility, or as Jim Rohn says, there only is one type of responsibility, and that is personal responsibility, because you can't control other people. And then I had to realize that if I wanted, again, I know I just said it, to give myself the best opportunity to do these things. Be the best husband I can be. There's a lot of compromise and effort that's involved. That's why relationships fall apart, which is difficult. To be one of the number 1 speakers and people involved with OCD and anxiety on earth, bar none. Me, Rob, the whole team there's no other company that's coming directly from the lived experience. Not one. Where everyone there has come out from the chronic OCD side, and we are going to go in full blown as hard as we can. That was so difficult for me. So that's a very important thing. And that's how I do it with that. How to solve problems logically. Well, this is a difficult question. It depends on what you mean by logically. Logic and acceptance are not the same, right? I've talked about this before. So you can't logic your way to OCD, okay? We have that like Venn diagram. So it's like L for logic, A for acceptance. And then we have the crossover. So there is crossover right there, okay? So logic and acceptance, but they're 2 completely different things. I'll give you an example. Logically, I know that I do not want to sleep with men. As a straight man, heterosexual, I like women. But I actually don't know if something may happen and I may become attracted to men. And I'll have to develop unconditional acceptance for that. You could easily logically say, well, I've never slept with a man. I've never pleased myself to a man. I've never looked at the man and been like, damn, he can get it. But that doesn't work for unconditional acceptance. That's the difference. So I think of certain things in a logical way, but I never try to prove my way out of anything with the logic. I can look at something and be like, okay, this makes sense, but I don't try to use that logic to get away from my worst case scenario, okay? Let me give you a problem with work, okay? Logically, I know that I can do this job because I've done it before. Well, that's actually not true. You have no idea the next time you can fucking suck at it. So logically, my logic has shown me that I have not actually messed up this assignment, which I've gotten every year for 12 years working here. Logically, that's correct, that I know of. But that doesn't mean logically I know I won't mess it up in the future. So you can use logic to a degree, but you can't use it to escape the worst case scenario with unconditional acceptance. That is the key. Logically, I knew that I built a ton of muscle and got in really good shape. I'll fall back into looking this way at times. Logically, I knew that. I built a lot of muscle. I always had a lot of anxiety because one of our biggest fears in body dysmorphia, the bodybuilding, is anxiety is going to take away our muscle and not be able to grow it. Logically, I saw myself get in great shape whilst panicked, but I actually didn't have, but even if I wasn't hitting my potential, even if I wasn't being optimal, don't like those words, even if I don't, because you use very wishy-washy, create problems, even if I do get affected by my anxiety and it not allows me to grow in the way I want, I could still go to the gym and have fun. That's why the two are not the same. Oh, my friend, when she watches this is one of her most people's big ones. Venting. Why it isn't good. How to find balance, if any, etc. Okay. Number one, you've heard me use this example before. I'm talking directly to you whose questions they are. Jim and Sally. Jim struggles with alcoholism for whatever reasons, and Allie does not, or Sally. It doesn't matter why Sally can balance it and you can't, and Jim can't. Jim cannot. His track record has showed him. Both of his parents are alcoholics. One of them died from cirrhosis. He has this extreme pull. His life gets all fucked up. Sally's doesn't. It doesn't matter. You're not Sally. You are Jim. We have to accept life acceptance that we cannot engage in venting like other people. It's not that you can never talk about what's going on. But in the beginning, if you're really struggling with this, zip it, fucking ocean. Basketball, LeBron James, Michael Jordan, right? From the foul line, at the buzzer. Bye-bye. See you venting. Ocean. Jack Sparrow. Throw it. Mariana's Trench, where the Titanic is. Sounds dumb. It's the truth. You got to take it seriously. And whenever you think, I had to ask myself, do I need to vent about this and has that given me results? But like, you can't be so crazy where you can't bitch or like make jokes about work or someone that annoyed you at the workplace or something like that. But there's a piece of, oh my God, I hate my life. That has no pros in life. It's a skill to keep that zipped in. And most people are going to lead you in the opposite direction of this. Most people are going to say to you, this is not good. Don't bottle things up. If not bottling things up and venting works so well, then why are all the kids under 28 to 30 years old so fucked up? If it worked in the way that we thought it worked, then why aren't the anecdotal outcomes good? Because they ain't. So something to think about. Phil@OCDrecovery.com. Thank you again. Watch that video I did. It's on the channel now. Who knows when this is going to be up. But if you haven't, the one about what people get wrong about recovery. Any questions, Phil@OCDrecovery.com. Again, thank you, Phil. Thank you all the hard work. Thank you for the comments. Thank you. Let me know if you like the series. Let me know if you hate it. Doesn't matter. I like seeing what people say about everything. So thanks again. Enjoy the rest of your day.